How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to my series with my lovely boyfriend,
Hello.
where I show him Marvel Rivals character designs and he analyzes them from an artistic standpoint. Now, to reiterate, he's a comic artist, he's an art teacher, he knows his stuff. And if you've been watching all along, you know that he knows his stuff. So, we're just going to get right into it with today's episode, Hawkeye.
Ooh.
Now, I hate this design for Hawkeye. It's edgy, it's try hard, it's overdone, and the worst part is it doesn't match his in-game personality in the slightest. Because he's all, yeah, woo! I'm awesome. I never miss. As his whole personality deal with his voice call-outs and stuff. It doesn't match edgy anime cyber ninja at all. And I hate it. Not my least favorite default costume in the game. My least favorite is Wolverine, because that one's just insulting. But, yeah, no, I have strong opinions about default Hawkeye.
Lore has some really strong opinions right out of the gate on this one. So let's kind of look at what they tried to do with this, because it's an interesting take to me, but because Hawkeye is basically a super archer, and they're, as far as I remember, that this game occurs in the future, so I'm guessing they wanted to go with something a little more high-tech with his design rather than more of a rustic leather archer kind of design.
One of the timelines is 2099. I'm not sure whether this Hawkeye is from that timeline. He could just be from, like, New York 2025. I'm not sure.
Yeah, and a lot of this type of armor is kind of reminiscent of military gear, where it's they got the kind of like a hard plasticky look, and we kind of associate that with like cyber armor too, because they kind of pull from the kind of the same design family, really, because it's like, hey, we need futuristic armor. Well, what's the most futury armor we have? Well, the current armor. So let's just, take that and just punch it up a little bit. So, that's how you get stuff like, Gundam and stuff. They're like looking at mechanical stuff now, and they're like, all right, let's punch this up to 11. So that's where we get some of this cyber armor look. Lots of belts in this thing, though.
Yeah, it's very Nomura-esque.
Yeah. It's like, it's not bad, but it doesn't have a lot of personality, I think, is what your big issue with it is. Because you're talking about the personality of the character, and I don't get a lot of personality out of this, except for like, serious battle,
Which he very much is not.
Yeah, so maybe that's why you hate it so much, is because the design of this particular outfit is really just not matching the character that the game is trying to tell you he is.
There are several base designs in this game that are anime parenthesis complimentary. This one is anime parenthesis derogatory for me.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to see what they did design-wise in this, because I don't want to make any calls, because I don't have the hate feelings for it.
That's fine. My opinions aren't your opinions.
Yeah, but we have purple, which I love that they've got like this magenta stripe in there. There's a little bit of blues and pulled into the purple, so a lot of variety in that. It gives it almost kind of iridescent kind of feel without really having to go full shiny. So it just gives that color a lot of punchiness and pop. And then we have a bit of metal accents and sort of a gray thing. The metal accents are kind of neat, though. They're kind of a really cold blue-gray color. A little bit different than the gray they use on the material for his outfit. It looks really nice, because it's not really like, oh, I picked a color, but it's got a little bit of color to it. So it almost feels like another color in the palette that's just adding a little more saturation. I just noticed he has a little ear comm, too.
Oh, yeah, he's, well, that may just be cyber ninja tech to make him communicate with people, but he is deaf in the comics.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was a call out to that particular aspect of his character, like a little hearing aid thing.
It would be cool if that were the case. I've never noticed that before. I haven't, sat on the Hawkeye character design screen and inspected him top to bottom yet.
And I actually like the idea of having that scarf on the one side. So it gives this kind of fun a bulk to his silhouette, and also it makes it a little asymmetrical for what's otherwise a very symmetrical design. The only different thing being that he doesn't have armor on his one arm, which kind of matches up with his bow hand, because a lot of archers, what they'll have is they'll have like that brace on their hand to protect from the string, and that's on the hand that holds the bow, and then the other hand is usually lightly armored because you need a lot of flexibility, so you can't really throw a ton of armor on that arm because you need to draw back these bows. And if you're talking like war bows, the poundage on those things is like insane levels that most people wouldn't think about today because we don't use them for warfare anymore. But gosh, some of the draws on those old bows too are so much that like crossbows and stuff, it would take like a couple people to actually even just arm it.
There's a reason that Penelope's test for suitors in the Odyssey was, can you string Odysseus's bow? Because she knew nobody would be able to. I think that was one of her tests anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm thinking of another myth. Anyway,
they also give him a couple of short weapons too besides the bow. It's interesting choice.
yeah, they gave him he can parry projectiles out of the air. That is comic stuff. We'll get to his Ronin costume later, but in the comics, Hawkeye spent some time in Japan as an assassin in an assumed identity. That's where Black Widow finds him in Endgame, actually.
I'm actually trying to figure out the logic on this suit because there's a lot of density and detail, and it's kind of all over the place. Let's have a zoom out because I'm trying to figure out how they did this a bit. Because we got like big purple area on the top, maybe a little bit of medium on like the kneecaps, and then there's just teeny tiny details on like the belt and the boots for everywhere else.
Oh, you know what else I dislike about this? You see the chevrons on his calves? That's meant to evoke his chest piece symbol from his normal design. That and the little pauldron thing there are the only place on this costume where you find the chevrons.
Mask maybe a little bit, but that might just be a feature of the shape of the nose.
Yeah.
Actually, what's throwing me off a lot is that he has this big armor piece on the front, but it breathes. And it's really throwing me off because I'm like, if it's supposed to be a thick armor piece, it really shouldn't be like moving so much.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what did they make that from? I know they're probably just cheating a little bit, but I'm just like, it keeps distracting me because it's such a huge piece on this.
I did notice when we pulled this open that he's got massive calves.
Yeah, I'm still pulling apart like what they did design wise, and I think what they did is the top part of his outfit has that gray section. If you kind of mentally connect his torso to the sides of his legs, that kind of creates one shape of his of the color scheme, where it's kind of like almost like framing him in.
Oh yeah, it does kind of have like the gray onto the sides of his legs. Kind of has like medieval armor vibes.
Yeah, it's almost,
as far as shape goes,
it's
right?
almost a little bit like a tunic, almost. And then the rest of the outfit is very dark on the legs, except for kind of the kneecaps and some of the boots. But the boots even are really blending in because they're still that dark gray. So I think kind of what they did is they kind of made these big sections, and then I think they kind of went in and then added like all these little like patterns and repeated lines. Which is, it's kind of interesting because it's not as straightforward as some of the other designs I've seen from them, because he's obviously got a lot of little buckles and details that the other designs typically don't have to wrestle with. And there is like a method and pattern to it, because like I can see the buckles like on the legs, it's like 1, 2, 3. And then they don't really repeat the buckles again until they get to the boots. So it's not like just random buckles everywhere, but it's also like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
What's they got for going on the back of the outfit? Oh, I see the gray piece kind of comes up, frames the butt real nice.
Yeah, what's there? Look at that long back.
Mm-hmm. And some of the purple and stuff. Yeah, I think the purple is following like the shoulder blade shape a bit and just being kind of mimicking that. Yeah, I'm having a hard time pulling out patterns in this one just because of the amount of details and things that are in this outfit, but it's not terrible by any means. It's just it's a lot going on, and I don't think they actually dropped the ball anywhere. It's just it's not as clean cut as some of the other outfits, where if you take a moment to kind of look at it, you can very go like boom, boom, boom. This one's more subtle. You had to take a minute, and like I think the grays also being toned down makes that shape uh, language on the outfit not as strong. So now we have mostly just the purples kind of punching things up and pulling the shapes out, which means his outfit is just like mostly just like pecs, right? Because there's really not a lot to catch your eye in the rest of the outfit, so it's just like chest, archery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do like the idea of the little rivets and things.
I do like his bow.
Yeah, it reminds me of like compound bows because they just look insanely weird, but they're all built for, reliability and strength. So yeah, I definitely see like what they're going for here. I think it's maybe a little generic compared to some of the fun they had in the other designs, but it's definitely not off base for me.
But, so my opinion is not your opinion.
No, but I'm also like I really love medieval fantasy stuff, and like I've seen like Hawkeye's, his more superhero fits, which is more of like a fabric deal. I really would. I think I would have had fun with him just in a more of a casual fabric, more of like from afar type armor situation, because he doesn't have to wear armor because he's so far away you'll never see him. Like you can play it off that way, and that might have been a fun way to go about it. And they're pulling some kind of ninja thing going on, like you said, like especially with the hair and the added weaponry. Like they could have done some more fabric accents added onto here, like maybe if they had more fabric over the armor or something, maybe a little more personality. But I do really love the colors, and I think the grays are really, really nicely used. And I love that there's all this subtle color added into the grays. Like even in that shawl, all that blue and purple that's reflected in there. They're pulling a lot of yellows again on the highlights and things, and it's just like there's a lot of color on just what is typically white that really kind of meshes the whole outfit together.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so shall we see what you consider them doing better?
No, because we got some recolors to go through.
Oh no! Oh,
here's his shop recolor.
He looks like a caution sign. I love it. It reminds me of like some of the Sonic Adventure 2 stuff where they do the city scenes and everything's just like, roadway sign, lights,
roadway sign for this loop-de-loop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it feels very industrial construction, which works with what he already had for an outfit, which is already like very, cyber armor thing going on.
I do like this shade of orange.
Yeah. It's like, it's kind of, they went yellow, but then they go a little bit orange with it, so you don't get any of that kind of dull yellow yuckiness that you get like if you ever walk into a store and you're like, wow, what kind of yellow shirt is that? And it's just like puke yellow. It's because they desaturate it and they don't really think about the quality of the saturation there.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, it's kind of fun too, because like the purple one obviously does like purple and like another shade of purple, but this one's like, all right, we're just gonna cut the armor to black and do like this yellow stripe thing. And they cut the shapes a bit different too, because now instead of one big gray shape to the kind of side pieces, it's like this big yellow piece. I almost want to say this cuts up the body a lot better, because now we're like seeing more distinction in the torso and how he's shaped, since they're already trying to do this muscular build kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the pectorals are not dominating that like in the purple one. Because now, it's like all it's actually, I think the striping is like evocative of the rib cage and the way the muscles kind of interlock there.
Yeah. Which,
if you ever seen anyone draw any muscle drawings, it's like the favorite part of an artist to draw, because it's like, it's like interlocked. It's like hulked, totally yoked. Anything different on the back of the design for color wise? Just kind of the same as it was in the front. But I think I actually would have liked if they would have done this with the purple, because I think I like the yellow on the midsection a lot better than I liked the purple on the top section.
Yeah, agreed. And like black, I think works better in some of these places than the dark gray
Yeah.
that the other one had.
Yeah, and even his like that side armor piece is black instead of silver. Really nice recolor. Good job.
I like it better than the default.
Let's add some purple. It could be peanut butter.
Speaking of purple, Galactus skin.
All right. This one has a lot better control of the teal, I think, than the Emma Frost one we saw before.
Mm-hmm.
Because in this one, that they just took the teal and it's just a slight accent. And it's used only with the blue, so it's not really clashing with the purple. Very cool. Again, they cut up the colors a bit different. Now it's the midsection that's got the big color splash and the sides of the pauldrons. I like using the blue on the kneecaps so then you don't lose the silhouette of the legs.
Mm-hmm.
Also, kind of like a different color on the boots is fun too, because now it's like kind of like big midsection, medium on the scarf, and then like a small spot on for your boots. Kind of a nice segmentation. All right, how do they do the back of the outfit?
He's got a big old stripe down his spine.
Yeah, he does. This still makes it kind of a fun little movement, though. Also makes it kind of almost like a Y shape, or like almost connects up with the scarf, even though it doesn't. But visually, it kind of does. Makes a fun shape, I think, for that outfit. Of course, now that I've seen the little side pauldron thing on his arm in different colors, now I'm wondering what in the world is it? Because it's just sticking out like on his arm and it protects nothing. It's
where he keeps his Jolly Ranchers.
It must be. Little snacks.
What do you mean they melted against my skin?
Well, he has other little pouches, but he has lots of snack pouches. That's what gives emergency rations. When those ones run out, pop that thing open.
Yeah.
Oh, he even had a little blue hair streak on this one too.
Oh, so he does.
Fun. Yeah, I think this one's really pretty nicely controlled with the color scheme, and they played with it in fun ways.
The way he's designed, though, does make his skin really stand out starkly from the costume.
Oh, yeah, because the skin is the only orange part of him.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of skin showing in his outfit compared to some of the other heroes. Yeah, if he didn't have one bare arm, it probably wouldn't be so striking, because then it'd just be like, oh, hey, his face. Now you're like, arm! Face.
Yep.
It's not the worst, though. I still quite like it. But yeah, maybe if they had armored that arm too and then put the scarf on there, it would probably look nicer.
Yeah.
Can't win them all.
Oh, well. I do like what they did with the quiver on this costume.
Yeah. Because the other ones had kind of like just the color splash in that middle section. And this one, they took the whole top and just added kind of the black as an accent, really.
Yeah.
And I just noticed that there's also a texture on the middle section too, like a tessellation.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
All right, let's go with the only, well, except maybe for the one I'm going to show you that isn't in the store anymore. The only costume Hawkeye has that I think fits his in-game personality.
Free fall. He looks like he should be leading tours for like sky diving or something.
Oh, wait till you see his MVP.
Yeah. This is very sporty. Not like the other one was like, kind of that military armor look. This is like the sportswear race car driver, bicyclist, take your pick. And then that like the Avengers added to the side has a little kind of side pouch thing for his quiver. It says he on the back. And everything's kind of branded too, which kind of follows that like
Oh yeah, HE Hawkeye.
which is kind of like fits with the whole. Sorry, I got distracted because I was turning my head upside down trying to read what's on its quiver, because it also has text on it. But it's hard to read.
Yeah, I can't tell what that says either. Zone end, maybe?
Yeah, it feels like it's upside down. I don't know. If anyone else can figure it out, let us know.
Yeah.
And then he has patches on the sides of his arms with text on it too, which is West Coast.
Oh yeah, he was part of the West Coast Avengers.
And I saw Avengers are on his bow and or not his bow, like weapons and sheaths and everything too. Yeah, this is very fun. And it's interesting because it's pretty much the same color scheme, but now we got like one big color splash, but it's more controlled. It's not like the whole chest.
And it's his chevron.
Mm-hmm.
Made it front and center of his design.
And I like little racing stripes.
Yeah.
And then let's zoom out a little bit and see. Yeah, still going really sporty with the pants, but they kept the kneecaps things, so he can be ready to skate. Yeah, this all fits together because this is like it's messing with like the visual language of sportswear. So you know they're pulling from pretty much any kind of sportswear that you'd want to use, and it'll all match because it's already been an established style for a long time.
Oh, his sheaths have Avengers on them too, huh?
Yeah, and he doesn't have as many pouches. He has like a one on the back there, but then the other side is like this kind of either like a specialty bullet or goo or serum or something.
Melted Jolly Ranchers.
He's taking them liquid now. No time to chew. And the hair is really fun for this, which is interesting because like I was saying about it kind of looks futuristic, but the hair on the other design is like very traditional for, you know, like long hair on men. It just feels more old school because the trends nowadays can tend to trend more for short hair. So now he's got the short hair. Yeah, this is kind of fun because like it's mostly symmetrical. They put a few things on here to break up the symmetry, and all of it kind of supports the form of his body. Like the front piece, like the curve of it and everything, it just supports the bulk and everything about him.
Mm-hmm.
So when they do add some details, it's like supporting the overall trend of the character design. Even the belt on the side, it's because, you know, it's like hanging off his hips and like it just supports the shape of him being muscular. I really like this one a lot. It's well done. And then the color patches that they do use are really well controlled. Because they're really controlling that hue of the purple, because they have like that fuchsia reddish red purple, and they have kind of like a more middle grade purple, and I can see like on the pants and on his hand there it's like the darker shade of purple, and in other places it's the brighter shade, and there's like a texture treatment so they all shine and kind of change color here and there. Very nice. And I really like the treatment of the gray because they have dark gray, but they've, instead of like having a patch here and there, they're like, all right, dark gray is going to go right on top, all across the shoulders. And then the only other time they bring it back is kind of like that thigh patch that's on the inside of the pants, which is kind of like a sportswear thing. Which to me just kind of makes it feel like his thighs are thicker too.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's like that different color, and that separates the muscle group because the thighs have like these huge muscle groups in it. And like that's pretty much it for dark gray. It's like a little bit of accents, but for the big pieces, I wish this had this kind of control on the base outfit. I think that would make the base outfit probably shine a bit more.
Yeah, if I played Hawkeye, this is the skin I would use. I never see other people using it though, which I can only attribute to my standard for anime parenthesis derogatory is not the same as other people's standard for anime parenthesis derogatory.
Yeah. It's a very common archetype to, you know, have the whole, you know, battle assassin archer. So, you know, it probably fits what people want to play as, so they don't probably mind it as much as you. Even though his voice acting, I guess, doesn't seem to support that.
Not in the slightest.
Okay, Okay, but sometimes we want our assassins to have fun. Really pretty.
And again, his skin really contrasts with the colors of his costume. They made him this really orangey peach
Yeah.
that I'm not sure is the same on other characters. Or maybe it's just a contrast with his outfit makes him look that way.
It could be that because skin tones for lighter skin tend to be in like yellow, red range of some kind. Yellow is a complement to purple, so it could just be the fact that he has this big purple outfit. The only other color they've introduced is a big gray neutral, so it's probably punching up his skin tone quite a lot as far as the vibrancy of it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because if by association, like, you know, it got purple all around it, it'll tend to do that. If your skin already has kind of a yellowish tone. But yeah, I'm also really liking the control of the silver accents too. Because it almost makes like a big line across the chest. And then the buckles are kind of evenly spaced here and there, so nothing is like totally overwhelming or out of place. There's almost a rhythm to it.
I gotta ask though, why does he have a buckle on the end of his shirt sleeve?
That one, I think he has a belt around his sleeve.
Yeah, like why? Why does he have the belt there?
I don't know. Maybe he doesn't want, you know, to get any drag when he's bicycling down with his bow and arrow.
I thought he was roller skating.
He's multi-talented. But I think that one might just be like a funny design choice, but because we can.
Yeah, true.
Because he already has like a belt on his waist and the belt around his chest. It's like, let's throw one more in. That way, it also could be a way like to make it not totally feel 100% like a sports outfit, because he is supposed to be fighting crime and all. Give it a little bit of a for business punch.
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
I just noticed there's some teal on the other hand too, and it might be lighting. But when you flip the sword over, I was like, oh, blue.
Oh, yeah, he does have a teal rim light.
Yeah, pretty nice.
Okay. Up next, we were talking about his Ronin identity. Here's Ronin.
Oh, he learned how to shoot fire arrows? He's dangerous.
You say that, but his current team up with Luna Snow is ice arrows that can hit through walls and stun you for several seconds. And it is apparently a terror at high elo.
Oh, no. Okay. This is a different color scheme entirely, really. Because now we have... trying to decide if it's I think it might be warm and cool gray. I think the warm gray is the lighter shade, and then a little bit cooler tone for that darker gray, which is not hugely different in value. They're almost the same, but they're just slightly different color families. And then we got yellow and green. And the yellow is really gold. This is one of the fun ways you can paint gold without actually having to paint something with like a metallic glitter or anything.
Yeah, PB&J Emma take notice.
Yeah, is that they chose pretty much bright yellow and maybe a desaturated orange. And then we'll get a really vibrant gold. It's not good for everything, because sometimes on some surfaces it'll just look like cartoon yellow shiny. But in the right situations, it's this really vibrant goldy look. And it works real well for this because he does have some fabric elements in his design. So it's just matching the gold color with the fabric, and it's meshing really well. The green is really nice too. Again, super, super desaturated. It's a yellow green, so it matches with the yellow. And they're messing with the saturation so that the yellows look brighter. Because if they used a brighter green, they would all be kind of bright and bright. I think the yellow is really the only bright color in this outfit, to be honest.
Yeah.
You got a little bit of silver accents, but they spread that out because they're on the belt and they're on their like little details on the ends of the fabric, and then it's on that fishnet armor thing that they have on his arms.
Yeah, the shocker pads.
It's like these little metal bits. I wonder if it must have been a type of armor, because there's just looking at another thing. They were talking about whether it was chainmail or not, and it looked just like that. I gotta get more familiar with my Japanese armors. And then I really love when they do the braided fabric on the outfits.
Oh yeah, for his quiver holder.
Yeah, and
his quiver strap.
And the gloves and a few other places. It's just a nice contrast in material because you have like a lot of metals and fabric, and it's just a nice little texture to kind of add here and there. Still got pouches. Can't go without those.
Thankfully not Liefeldian, but he's got the taste of it.
Now there's no turning back. Alright, let's zoom out and see the rest of the outfit for a moment. I love the boots. The big, big boots.
The boots are pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Mostly just having the bulk of the detail and the accents on the kneecap, and then leaving everything a lot more plain on the bottom of the boots. Let's see the back of the outfit. And there is like just a little bit of a split to give a little bit extra color on that.
On his butt.
Yep. Otherwise, I think it's just a little bit of balance, because it'd be like really top heavy because all the color is at the top and all this equipment's at the top, so it's just like just a little bit of color. Because otherwise it'd just be entirely flat gray on the backside of this outfit. And for a Marvel Rivals character, that probably wouldn't look as good. But it depends on your types of characters, because some characters, you want it to be very plain and then have like a few iconic details. You got some character designs that there's hardly anything to them, but they do what they do very efficiently. But Marvel Rivals is a lot about having density and balance in their designs, and it's what's really fun about them. I love the gauntlet designs here too, because there's kind of like different sections and layers. And they're playing around with shape and things.
He's got that circle in a broken circle on both the back of his hand and on the bottom of his tunic, and I'm wondering if that symbol like means something, or if it's just a cool aesthetic.
Yeah, it could be a symbol. I don't know which one it is, but I'm guessing because of the overall theme that it's probably a symbol of some kind.
I also wonder what the Japanese character on his elbow says.
Mm-hmm. What if it just said Hawkeye? Yeah, I like this one a lot. Kind of interesting that they did a unique treatment on the quiver, but the bow kind of looks pretty similar. It might be a little different, but I'm not sure. If it is a little bit different, it's not stylistically distinct enough to look different from his other iterations.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, like, for this kind of design, it would be kind of neat to see him have, like, a unique bow that maybe is more, maybe more traditional. Because there's some really cool, like, archery stuff in Japan, too. People, us who watched Inuyasha. Should we see the other ones?
All right. Last of the ones you can get in the shop, if you can even get this one anymore. Hawkeye, infected by Ultron.
Ooh, evil. Now this is fun asymmetry. So we've got like this big hulking thing on one shoulder, and it's like actually crawling diagonally across the outfit. And that's a really fun design. And they repeat it on the leg pieces too, because the other leg piece doesn't have that either. The little circuitry design.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a fun idea, because like it feels like he just got like splatted on one side with all this cybernetic stuff. Notice though, no bare arm on this one.
It is a bare arm. It's a bare metal arm.
which tells me
That's
that
his skin now.
which tells me that it is possible. Let's see if they did anything else pretty fun or unique here. As far as like the outfit, because this is very toned down, although it has some of the same shapes as the default outfit, but it's not identical. Because he doesn't have like the big pauldron piece on the opposite arm that he would normally hold with his bow. I don't think he had like a big shoulder piece either.
On his default design, no.
Yeah.
No, he had the scarf or cloak
Yeah.
on his left shoulder.
Had a big old scarf. I do like how they've incorporated all the circuitry and stuff to the point that it looks like it's embedded into him.
That's because it is.
Well, that's because it is. I mean, like, they could have went like, oh, it's on the surface or it's like connected to the machinery. But it's like really fun and organic, and it's got interesting lines. And they're doing, like I've talked about in some other designs, they're using the lines for the circuitry. A lot of them are following forms of the body. And occasionally they're breaking from that. Like that red line is like this big squiggle.
Mm-hmm.
The big gray ones are like, kind of like with the shoulder muscles. And the ones that are sticking across his arm, even though they're apart from the arm and they're hanging away from it, the gentle curves of that are still following kind of those muscle groups. And they're only breaking away occasionally from that. I really like the one that, as he flipped his arm over, that's kind of flipping out from the elbow and then going around and over. I find that really fun because that's the one that do the pivots in your arm where you have the two bones there and you can pivot your hand upwards or you can pivot it downwards. And I find it interesting that it crisscrosses that way because the bones in your arm will cross and uncross when you flip your hands around, which changes the shape of the arm. But I like that is doing that curve because it's kind of following that piece of anatomy there. Because like the other ones could kind of follow the muscle groups because the muscle groups kind of contract and stuff, but your arm's kind of unique in that way that it can pivot that way. And it's neat to see the circuitry follow that. And there's like another one on this other arm where it's all coming out from behind the arm and again following. Except this one's more like resting on top of the muscle group and then connecting back into the shoulder. But that one almost makes it feel like a big gnarly vein or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think they really only use that one bright orange one in that one spot. Right there. Which is fun because it's kind of like they can use that as a lead to look at the big orange thing, and they can also use it as a lead out to look at orange thing and then look this way.
I did just notice the pale orange on the right side of his body. That's almost tan and almost gold. Like, I didn't really process that until I took a close look at this.
Yeah, it's like in between all the circuits is gold instead of silver, which is a really nice way to kind of subtly kind of keep that motif up. And it's pretty nicely controlled, and it's like even it's a little bit duller in like the shoulder blade area on his back, and it gets brighter as it's closer to where the source of it is. Let's give him a little bit of a spin to the front so we see more of that. Yeah. And that's like a fun way to make that engine electricity thing feel like it's glowing when it's actually not. Because doesn't it feel like it has kind of an inner glow thing going on?
Mm-hmm.
But they don't have to like use bloom or anything. Because sometimes when you use bloom, what you'll get instead is it'll just kind of obscure everything rather than making everything look glowy. Like, sort of like it's glowing, but you can't see it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a fun way to get that idea across without losing all that detail.
Oh, they're using the same hole in the world effect that Cloak has. It's subtle because it's not a star field and the way he moves is different. But if you watch when he moves his shoulder, the stuff that's quote unquote inside that orange circle isn't moving with him. He's moving past it.
Yeah, I also noticed there's some numbers and things that fly across there, some binary numbers.
Yeah.
I also like that there's a little bit of a 3D effect of like a portal shape going in. And on top, with that treatment on top, it makes a really neat effect. And then he has the same, they gave him like a big shiny eye too, so sometimes it's going to shine and sparkle like a robot eye. He's gone Terminator.
Apparently, the only thing keeping him in check is mental exercises Bucky taught him.
I think what's fun about this infection style is that the way it's stuck on his character is very organic. Like, you've taken this metal thing, but the lines that they've chosen are like very curved. There's lots of curves in general, really. There are some straight edges because, you know, they're making these big like panels and then robotic things. But the overall design of it is very organic and curved. Like, I'm looking at like the white section that's going on his forehead at this diagonal, and it's like spreading like roots. Yeah, so a lot of fun play with using expressive line, using asymmetry, which you wouldn't think you would normally go for like, I'm going to make a robot. You know,
yeah.
Usually robots, you know, you think, ordered and precise and geometric and straight lines. That, you know, and then this one's like, all right, but it's an infection, so we're going to borrow some of that design language from wild, unruly things and attach that to the idea of robot.
Don't worry, when we get to Ultron, you'll have all the symmetry you can think of.
Right? Let's see, anything interesting going on in the bottom section we didn't quite look at? Oh, they have some pipes and stuff out of his boots, too. And they're also asymmetrical because they're different on each boot. Not a whole lot, but just a little tad. Just a teeny bit. I mean, I kind of like the design of having the dual color pants without having the kneecaps on it that the other designs have, the big armored ones.
He's still got something for pads, but yeah, it's much less overstated than the other designs.
Yeah, maybe that was the problem with the default design. It's a bit overstated, and they needed to just tone down a couple areas.
It's very funny that you're saying that while looking at the mangled infected Hawkeye.
But this one's
but you're
so
right.
good.
You're right.
And that's probably why this design works so good. Because if they left like all the armor pieces, like the big thing on his arm, and like the kneecap armors and the other armors, it would have been too much, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like they want the electronic thing to stand out. And there's animation, which is a really good tool to make something eye-popping. Because anything that moves are like, whoa. But even then, they didn't let the animation pull the weight of what they didn't do well, right? You could take the animation off of this and it would still look awesome. So, you know, they made sure that on this, the design was going to support their idea. And then everything on top of that is just extra spice. But yeah, this is one of my favorites, I think.
I think it'll remain your favorite because the Sentai one that I'm about to show you is cool, but it's not as cool as this. I would personally use Freefall, but this is a close second.
Oh man, I'm excited because I used to live and die by the original Power Rangers.
Oh, all right then.
And then I was devastated when they destroyed the Power Zord. I was like, no.
Behold, the Intergalactic Empire of Wakanda skin.
Huh, let's see what we got. That's pretty different, but it's like they took Cyber Warrior and took it even farther.
Yeah, they just needed to commit to it. I like it better than its default design.
Yeah, you know, that was my first impression too, is like they needed to commit more, because I've seen what they've done for costumes in like Sentai shows, and it's just like, this is a bit toned down. They could have went way further. But I do like what they did do. It feels very fun. I think the only thing is he feels more like a villain character.
A little bit.
You know, like yeah.
Back to his bank robber days.
You know, like this is the character that would show up in the show and be like, you know, I'm stealing all the children.
And that's terrible.
Yeah. I do like using blue in the scarf. I think another thing throwing me off on this one is compared to most rival designs, this is very muted. It's almost grungy. I mean, I know we're like watching a bit of a lower resolution video of it, but
Yeah, I don't know why it's so low res.
But it feels, doesn't the texture and the color palette feel kind of grungy?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a little bit of shine to it, but compared to like the purples and the other colors on some of these other outfits, it's way different.
I do like the big H on the back of his quiver, though.
Yeah. Is it Wakanda as in based on the movie Wakanda, or just in general?
One of the timelines in Rivals is the Intergalactic Empire of Wakanda, Black Panther's deal. And the Captain America, the like Eagle Captain America that doesn't have any of the America colors on it, the armor one, the blue Black Panther one that has like the neck ruff, and this are all costumes based on the Intergalactic Empire of Wakanda.
Okay, so it's just this one that's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually kind of like the transparent panel idea, though. I feel like that's kind of fun.
On his visor, you mean?
Yeah, it's on his visor, it's on his gauntlets, it's on his boots.
Oh, yeah, it is on his gauntlets and boots.
Which I think is kind of a fun idea, too, to bring in, like, this idea of a futuristic warrior without having to go, you know, cyber marine. Like, you know, it's a type of material that, you know, we know as being fragile and stuff, but since he's from the future, then they must have figured out some cool, unknown future technology to make transparent armor, right? Mm-hmm. Or maybe it's like a hologram or something, you know, so we think future.
They need to bring back consoles and controllers that are like see-through colored plastic. Those ruled.
I know. Yeah, rest in pieces, Atomic Purple. But yeah, I think they did a nice color on this one too. It's got like nice sections and things. And my favorite, I think, actually is the torso treatment, because they did this kind of ribbed texture, like. And it's tiered. So you get this idea of the body structure, but it also feels like man-made, artificial, future technology or something. It's like really cool. Mm-hmm. And like I've seen that idea kind of taken before where they do it in like surface treatment. You know, they make it look like Teflon or something. But I think this is, I don't know if this is the first time, but it feels like the first time I've seen them where they actually do the form to look stylized and futuristic rather than just a texture treatment. So I really like that. Yeah, I do wish if it was going to be Sentai flavored that they went further, but for a future Hawkeye warrior, I think it's still a pretty fun idea. And there's nothing on this that's really like glaring or out of place. Like this feels fast, it feels punchy, it fits the idea that they were going for.
All right, well, let's show you the MVP that goes with that one. Watch video. There we
go. Like I said, it feels fast and punchy. That was a fun MVP. No notes.
All right, let's head back to the game.
And really, no notes. I've seen some of them where they do an action bit, and I think, oh, they cut the action at this one point. But no, that one felt good. It was like, action.
Mm-hmm.
Pause for something really cool, and then go from there. That's his default.
Yep.
Let's see that again. Yeah, that's pretty fun. Most of the defaults seem pretty basic.
Yeah, they're there to be cool and make you feel good, but also make you want cooler ones from the shop.
Yeah. But that one's fun because he jumps so far that he flies into the camera and then flies back out. That feels fun and it makes him feel fast and heroic. Da-da-da.
All right, here's the Ronin one.
Oh, from inside the mask. Ooh. I feel like this is the male version of the Step on Me. Am I wrong? Don't let me know if I'm wrong because I won't accept any answers. Very interesting choice though to have a viewpoint from inside the mask though. That is super cool.
That's something that I wish they'd done with Iron Man.
Yeah, and it's not very long, so you don't have to sit and dwell on it, and you get this cool time for this cool jump sequence. But it does feel very narrative and very immersive and interesting. So you're like the intruder, and they're like, I'm him, and then here's the intruder going, oh no! Alright.
Alright, and free fall.
Like I said, skydiving instructor.
Yep, I told you.
Nailed it. Or should I say, the development team nailed it, because they made a design that looked like a skydiving instructor, and it sure did.
Yep.
Yeah, what a fun design, though. I wonder if this one's not really chosen because it's too close to just normal life, we've all seen a bicyclist before. And they're like, I don't want to be a bicyclist, I want to be a cool superhero. Even though the design rocks, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Vibe-wise. It's the D&D problem. Do you want to be the human, or do you want to be the cool dragonborn? Or an elf or something,
I guess I'm out of the ordinary in that I'm repelled by what I think is anime parenthesis derogatory. But yeah.
They have good special effects in this game too.
Yeah.
And
I love the effect where where at his contact points on the building, on the glass.
Oh, it is the glass. I just assumed it was magic.
No, he's on a skyscraper.
Cool. This is the reflection is so strong. Yeah, you see the color change in the reflection. Nice.
Oh, I just noticed he doesn't have a reflection in the glass. Oh, that's gonna ruin it for me. See?
Yeah.
He doesn't reflect it. Is he a vampire? Should we have staked him during the Dracula season?
Maybe. It's the one that got away.
That's my headcanon now. This is his vampire skin.
What if it was? He just gives Hawkeye, and it's the cooler Hawkeye. Alright.
Alright, let's see if he has any good emotes.
I don't miss.
Oh, jeez. Got a knife sharpener on his bow, apparently.
That's the Ronin one.
For a minute, I was like, are they actually moving his fingers, or are they just phasing the thing through them? They might have actually, I don't know.
They are moving his fingers.
Yeah. It's I need that in slow-mo. Stat.
And, of course, Brain Blast.
Big head.
You can really inspect his face.
I'm glad that Marvel Rivals has brought back the sacred art of Big Head from retro games.
Yeah. It was a whole game mode where everybody had the enlarged crit area and big heads, and if you played enough, you got a free emote of your choice from the whole roster. I, of course, picked Squirrel Girl for my Brain Blast emote. But you can buy these in the shop still. How much are they? That's $4. Good God.
Quick, put in the cheat code.
All right. Well, that's Hawkeye. So, which of the costumes is your favorite?
Let's see. Let's go back to the roster of the costumes. And I'm pretty sure I know which one's my favorite, but yeah, I'll give everybody an equal chance here.
Why is it broken?
I don't know.
Hang on.
Is it because you switched to cosmetics? Instead of overview?
Cosmetics is where the costumes are.
Oh, no costumes for you.
Let's go into somebody else's. Yeah, everybody's costumes are broken.
Oh no. Well,
hang on. Don't know why that happened. That's a weird bug. How do they expect people to buy stuff from the shop if they can't see the stuff for the shop?
It was $4 and you scoffed. They're like, well, this guy's not buying anything. They were like, get out of here. Well, since we're going to take a moment, one thing I catch in passing is kind of all the splash screens that they've had for a couple seasons. Not very many, but like what I find really fun about them is that they're really kind of that style of like illustrated or moving illustration. There's a name for it, but I kind of forgot. But they basically put nodes on things on a full illustration, and then they kind of slowly animate things, which gives it kind of this kind of bouncy, wavy look. But it's a lot cheaper to do that than full animation or to do 3D models and stuff. And what I'm really impressed with is just how much character and style they get into those illustrations. Like, they're really fun, they're really colorful, the animations are really neat. Like, I'm always just like walking by and going like, dang, that is like a sick illustration.
It is pretty cool.
You know, and it's just like, there are so many illustrations that are for games, tabletop RPGs and all stuff, and like some of them are cool, but it's very, and like a lot of them are cool, but you don't always walk by one and go like, that is really good. And you know, I think about their limitations too, like you know, they have to make it fit on the screen, they have to make sure it's compatible with different stuff. I think it's really cool.
I agree.
You're gonna see if the thing works. There he did.
Hey, there we go.
Okay, the rankings. You couldn't run forever. Yeah, I really like the Ultron one, just because of how well they integrated the theme into the design. And that they worked some of the default stuff in, but took out the stuff that wasn't going to work. Because they could have just done this on top of the default design and called it a day, right? And not change anything. Because when you change stuff, you got to remodel and retexture everything. Or not everything, but parts of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I like the work that went into this, and I think the final result is really solid. For MVP, though, it's got to be the Ronin.
Yeah, it is a pretty cool MVP.
Like, this is probably one of the coolest MVPs.
It's pretty cool. Almost makes me want the costume itself, but nope.
You're not a fan of the costume?
I think the costume is cool, and I run into the same It's not anime parenthesis derogatory. It's anime parenthesis neutral, and it still doesn't fit his personality.
It is kind of its own character, because now you're starting to get like the samurai kind of feel to it. One thing I will say about the costume, as much as I love the design, it doesn't feel like Hawkeye, really.
Nope.
Like, you could put a different name on this costume, and I would totally believe it was a different character. But still very fun. And, like, sometimes, you know, he's under assumed identity, and they don't have time to tell a story with the designs, really, compared to a comic book. So, in a comic book, maybe this would be more convincing, because you have time to characterize.
Yeah, this was a whole comics run of Hawkeye as Ronin in Japan. And so the costume can't really communicate the whole story. It's just, here's a reference to the comics. Enjoy.
Yeah, and like, they can do this because it's a game based off comic book heroes, so they want to get people who are interested in the books to play, along with new people. So that's the thing with
And
art.
it's a winner on both fronts.
Yeah.
Comic reference and cool ninja.
So it's like the art design thing is like sometimes you can get away with stuff if you have like prior language. Like some of the designs I'm saying, like they're working with like this one's working on the samurai aesthetic and like the other one's working on sportswear aesthetic. You can do a lot of characterization by using an already established visual language. But it doesn't take you all the way, but it'll take you quite far. If you want to characterize somebody a certain way, you can use that as like a sort of shorthand. But yeah, that's Hawkeye. This is one of my favorites. I really love the textures and the illustration and everything they added to it. Any more comments?
Do you have a least favorite?
Oh, you're gonna make me do least favorites now? Boy, This one actually was a set where there's not really any strong contenders for worst.
This one. This one.
Well, I was gonna I'm kind of leaning towards the Galactica one for worst. Because I still kind of like the purple and blue and the iridescent effect they had on here. I wish the sections were a little different. And it's not that I really hate this one. It's just like, I don't know. It's very hard to pull this kind of color scheme off with the characters, I think. Something about it. And I think it did nice with putting the blue in the hair. But like I said, there's not any in this group that I think is really poorly designed or is a strong contender for worst.
You're allowed to be wrong.
But apparently I'm wrong. All those years in art school wasted.
All right, well, that's Hawkeye. Up next will be Hela, who you're excited for.
Oh yeah, I love the headdress on Hela, so I'm excited to see what they've done with the outfit and how they played around with it.
I am doing a short stream today. If you want to do Hela after I stream, I'm open to that.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. But yeah, that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for doing this with me.
You're welcome.
And we will see you next time.